Welcome back to the Africa Event Connect podcast, where we explore the dynamic world of exhibitions and events across Africa. I'm your host, Progeny Pather, and today we're honored to have a very special guest with us. As Chairperson of EXSA, the Exhibition and Event Association of Southern Africa, Sibusiso Mncwabe has been at the forefront of shaping the future of our industry. EXSA is also an affiliate association partner of the Africa Event Connect podcast, and we're really excited to dive into how this association supports and drives growth in the exhibition sector. Spu, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much for joining us on this discussion. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you very much, Progeny. Thank you very much. I think it's good that we have discussions like this. As we were speaking a little bit off camera, that people tend to listen to more podcasts these days, so it's good to be here.
I'm glad. Well, there's so many questions I have for you, and I think we're going to start with the basics. So let's talk about EXSA. I think it's been around for so long, for so many years, but not many people know about the history and how it began and where we're at today. So let's just go into an introduction to EXSA and, what's the association's, the mission, the vision, what's the goals, and we'll dig deeper as we go along. But let's start there, just to set the tone.
That's pretty cool. So the funny thing about EXSA is that it's slightly older than me.
Really?
Correct. It was established in 1980. So it's just about 3 years older than me. But, it's a platform that affords the members to connect, to learn, to educate themselves and to grow within the industry. Yeah. And EXSA was formed as the association to safeguard the industry. So to be the custodians for the industry, because we did need a place to protect the industry, to protect the members, and just to make sure that we've got good governance and we work well in the industry. Just to safeguard, most important. Mm-hmm. That's what EXSA was formed for. And I must say, right now, that's the trajectory that we're in, and we're still standing on that we need to safeguard the industry more than anything.
Now, when you talk about safeguarding the industry in what way?
Well, we do have people who've come out, especially now after COVID, that have come out and opened up their own business, and you find that some of them don't have the skill, the necessary skill to make sure that they run the business and to make sure that they don't put the industry in disrepute. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got international clients that come onto the exhibition and the events industry. They come and exhibit and come and showcase their products. Yeah. So what we do make sure of is that the industry standard is kept. Yeah. The health and safety issues that which are very important in the industry, and just to make sure that you also market your business well and you put it within the line of other high-end companies. So this is us safeguarding the industry, making sure that the clients see value in coming to exhibit and coming to use our members as the EXSA members.
Absolutely. I mean, I think people are short-sighted in terms of the long-term impact and damage that it can do when suppliers that are, put together a bad product, right? Yeah. And from a safety perspective, from a bill perspective, from meeting deadlines, there's so many factors when you're going on to a show. And this ecosystem of suppliers that we have are absolutely essential. And as an organizer, I know that, the minute the supplier doesn't deliver, the client is disappointed and they don't want to come back onto the show. So again, that long-term impact of not coming onto the show, it becomes too difficult. And they don't get their return on investment. Yes, definitely. They don't do the show again, and then the show can't happen, right? Definitely. So it affects everyone's business.
Yes, it does.
So it is so key, and I think it's so nice to have an association that can provide best practice and monitor is really, really important, right?
Correct.
Now you've got a whole host of members, and I mean, we've all seen a drop in during COVID, of course, because of affordability, but you've kept the industry together and you keep connecting and fostering collaboration amongst all the suppliers, which is really, really wonderful. Now, how can you take us through different ways in which the association facilitates the connections between the members?
Okay, pretty cool. So the collaboration between the members happens quite a lot. Let me just start a bit backward on something that you mentioned in terms of suppliers and making sure, or maybe we'll even get to that a bit later, but MOUs that we've signed with the different organizers is what's also helping the industry, set the benchmark quite high. Signing those MOUs with different organizers it keeps the event standard quite high. So now the organizer knows the type of members that they're going to be getting from our association.
Right.
They know our standard of members that we have in our association.
So when you talk about MOUs, then it would be an MOU between the organizer and EXSA.
Yes, between the organizer and EXSA. So we not only sign MOUs between the different associations, but also with the organizer and EXSA. Now, this definitely helps in terms of benchmarking the type of suppliers you're going to be getting. Yes, legally we cannot stop the organizer from getting anybody that they want, but because they know of the member caliber that we've got, so that MOU really helps out. With the type of build that they're going to be getting, meeting of the deadlines, making sure that the caliber is quite high.
That's a brilliant idea. So, as part of that MOU, for organizers out there that aren't aware of this opportunity that they can take advantage of, so what does the MOU entail between EXSA and the organizer?
So the fact that we're going to be there on site whenever there's a build-up, the fact that we've got our members on call to assist in any fault that might be happening with any other suppliers, because we have had a couple of incidents where shows suppliers are not completing, and so forth. So our members are always there to help and step in. Our members are always on call to assist at any moment. This is what then now the organizer sees as an advantage of having us on site. They know that if we're there on site, chances are we're going to be making sure that everything is running as smooth as possible.
And is then the organizer obliged to only use EXSA suppliers for the entire event?
So they're not obliged. Legally, we're not allowed to stop a person from trading.
But there's a lenience toward that, right?
There's a lenience towards it. And, they are told the preferred suppliers are from the EXSA list. Here's the list. So the way that we keep connecting these dots is that we first send out that we will be there on site,
right,
to our members. And the organizer also requests a list from us. Then we send that list of our members to the organizer to say these are our listed and preferred suppliers, so you can pick and choose, and then they send that to their clients.
That is brilliant, and that's a perfect way to bring your members together, to get them to work as a bigger group.
Correct.
Connecting them and growing their businesses as well.
Correct. That's definitely a way. We deal a lot with communicating with our members. So even if it's a tender that's coming out from the departments, we send that out to our members on emails. We send it out on WhatsApp groups. So we've got WhatsApp groups where we connect. We keep that communication quite open and make sure that it's quite transparent, so that they see that we're working for them as the members. Because it's not just the organizers that we must keep happy, but it's our members that we must also keep happy.
That's wonderful. That is brilliant.
Great.
I think it's so wonderful to see. And I think if there are any suppliers that are listening as well, that are not part of EXSA, I think these are kind of collaborative efforts is key as to if you're a supplier and you're listening. It's absolutely essential that you become part of that EXSA database of suppliers or preferred suppliers, because EXSA is making the effort to connect with organizers, connect with the hundreds and thousands of clients that each of these organizers have who need your services. Wonderful. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, let's talk about some of the key initiatives that EXSA has been working on to support the exhibition industry. Besides the MOU, I'm sure that's just one of it.
Yeah.
Brilliant start. But what about the other ways in supporting members?
So we definitely do support even startup companies. We support major companies. We support even the venues themselves. We support with skills development plans, with opportunities to tender, the on-site support services that I also mentioned. These training programs that we support with, you do get a certificate at the end of it all. So just another collaborative effort that we do have with SAACI is that we've also written a marketing course, which has an NQF level 4.
Wonderful.
For suppliers and our members, of course,
So that
and your staff,
upskill these suppliers to be able to learn how to market their businesses.
Yes. So at the end of it all, you get an EXSA certificate of attendance for that marketing course that we do. But we've also written one with SAACA, with SAACI, the qualification for exhibition stands and events, which is NQF level 4. Once you attend that, it's a formal qualification. Another course that we've also written is the event management course, NQF level 5, which is post-matric. The third one was the business development management, which is NQF level 6. So that definitely helps out the business owners themselves to be able to grow their companies, their marketing, their sales, their business plans, research and development. So these are all the efforts that we put for businesses and its staff, to upskill themselves to actually move forward in business.
So if there are suppliers that are listening today and want to get hold of you to do these courses, so they'd go through your office. What would be the process like?
Yes, they'll go through our office. We've got a lovely lady called Leanne Adler, who's been managing our association quite well. They'll get in touch with Leanne, and then Leanne will just be put them together with the associations that we're in collaboration with for these courses. We'll put them together, and they'll start it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Now, I know we talked about earlier in terms of that you're not here to police people. Yeah. I mean, we can't enforce these things. We can't enforce regulations. We can't fine people as such. But how do you go about as an association, to try to set industry standards and ethical guidelines? I think ethical guidelines are really, really important because, we're all fighting there. You've got lots of suppliers vying for the same job with the same service offering. How do you, and they all, a lot of the time they work together as well. Yeah. So how do you manage those kind of relationships, ensure that there's all this time that there's ethics, professionalism, these industry standards that should be, second nature to people, I think. Yeah.
So at the start of you signing up into our association, you go through a process of us vetting the company. There's a document that you also sign with us, abiding by the I'll call it rules and regulations of how the industry and how we expect you to partake in within the industry. There is also a mediation that we do have in terms of any members not abiding by these ethical guidelines that we've put through. So those are just ways of us reminding the suppliers that these are the things that we require of you as a business. And once that isn't there, the organizers also have an opportunity to write to us if it's one of our members And we started that conversation with our members to mediate between them, the organizer, and our members, the supplier. Even if you're not a non-member, we don't just sit back and say, hey, it's not our member, so we don't do anything about it. We are custodians of the industry at the end of it all. So we do reach out to that certain individual to see if we can sit down and find out what seemed to go wrong, and how we can assist in terms of us moving forward with the supplier. So if it means that we need to sit down and mediate between the company, the organizer, and the company, then we also do that. But these are the ethical guidelines that we've set out. And when you sign on to come on board, we send it out to you. You sign it also to say that this is what we're going to be measuring you on. We're going to be making sure that you stick by these guidelines. It's one of the most important things to make sure that we run seamlessly between the organizer, the suppliers, and the industry itself.
I mean, it makes so much sense, because I think sometimes as startups and even as small to medium enterprises, all businesses, I think you get so busy doing and you get so involved in trying to meet targets, deliver to clients, that some of these essentials get sidelined and you don't realize what's happening on some parts of the business. And it's wonderful to see that you're able to just establish the communication or open the communication lines. And that's what it's all about, right?
Correct.
Talking about it, bringing people together and saying, let's all sit around the table together and let's talk about it. Where did it go wrong? How can we fix it? How can we make sure it doesn't happen again? And that's all we need sometimes, because you operate as a lone ranger, as a business owner sometimes, you're trying to do what's best for your clients, for your staff, for your suppliers. And sometimes it can go wrong.
It can.
Yeah.
It can.
We all know that.
It can go wrong. I mean, sometimes you get to a place where you've got 2 or 3 shows running. That you need to be building at one, as much as it might be a small 3x3 over there, it might be a bigger show stand this side, it might be supplying furniture for another show, but you get all of these things happening at the same time, and you just need to make sure that we still supply the same level of high quality service for clients. So, it can go wrong here and there. You might drop a ball here and there, but we need to just make sure that the industry standards are met at all
times. Absolutely. Well, if you're an EXSA supplier, then, having that support, mentorship, guidance, that's amazing. Wonderful. So now let's move on to another topic that's growing, and I'm glad to hear that it's growing and it's, becoming a firm part of the agenda. It's really important, and that's sustainability, right?
Correct.
And I think particularly in the events industry, we are able to contribute so much towards sustainability goals, internationally, nationally, and we all need to take cognizance of that. So let's talk about that. How is EXSA getting involved in terms of the education and different practices on exhibitions and build and different service providers, etc., when it comes to sustainability?
Well, we've got a working group as a sustainability working group as EXSA, which regularly meets to ensure that the events and expos are completely sustainable. We've also got an MOU with the Event Greening Forum, EGF, to work closely and to communicate to our members of what best practices are. So from the type of materials you use, to how to dispose of materials, what type of paints, and how to, not to wash your paintbrushes in
something so simple.
Something so simple, but these are all best practices that we try and educate our members with. We've also got a sustainability awards, at our awards, at our annual awards that we do. So these are ways that we try and to communicate with suppliers, The signing of the MOU and the sustainability working groups is something that we regularly meet on, and that we also communicate with our suppliers. This is just one of the ways that we do to make sure that the industry is sustainable moving forward and going on into the future.
Yeah, I think, what you're saying is so interesting, because it's about those little goals that we, little steps that
Correct.
we take in every way. So I think initially it was always looked like this gigantic mountain to climb. But I was talking to John from the EGF as well, and we're talking about acknowledging those little efforts. Because every little effort makes a difference.
It definitely does.
So there's everything you do. So it doesn't it's not an all or nothing scenario.
Yes,
and I
yes,
think
yes.
as we all build towards it, we can each find more and more ways of becoming sustainable. And I'm sure that each of your members have their own best practices as well. Do they get to share those? Do they share as, collaborate? Because I'm sure they all can learn from each other.
Yes, definitely. So this is where our networking group comes into play.
Yes.
This is where we start sharing our best practices within our different individual companies. So we definitely do meet on occasion to talk about what are the best practices. We also hosted these sessions on our YouTube channels, where we have EXSA Connects, and we have these communication and these conversations. And I must say that we've been communicating quite well with EGF, our association that we collaborate with on these best practices. So we definitely do communicate about these.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think we all need that nudge in the right direction as we get carried away with just everyday business. But just that reminder for us to say, well, how can we do it in a more sustainable way? Be conscious of it.
Very true.
So besides sustainability being at the forefront of all our activities and all the initiatives, which is really important right now in terms of where we are at in the world, what other emerging trends have you noticed coming through in the industry?
Well, technology is one of the trends that are coming through quite a lot. Technology is definitely taking over. We cannot lie about that, and we need to embrace it. As quickly and as fast as it's happening, we need to embrace it. So that's one of the focuses that we're going to be also focusing on. It's just technology within the industry. We can't be doing the same thing over and over again, as if the world is not moving forward. But we also moving forward. We need to move forward. So technology is one of the things. How we can embrace it. The AI. Yes. Booming industry.
booming. Yeah.
That's definitely one of the ways. And, it also, I think, also ties in a bit with how green can we go in this industry, how we use technology to be more greener going forward. That's definitely one of the trends we're seeing pick up.
Yeah. And I think, initially when everybody started talking about AI and people thought that AI would replace them in terms of jobs. But I think I was at a talk recently, and they spoke about AI being a tool, not a replacement. It's how it can enhance
correct
your production, your proficiency, your execution. It makes you do things better, simpler, smarter. You those efficiencies will reap the rewards about it. So it's about how, taking it into the business and figuring out how it can contribute to shortening the process, to helping us meet deadlines, Correct. To making sure that we have the right skills, the right material, I suppose, as well. Sourcing. I mean, it's fascinating how much it can help you with, right?
Definitely. I mean, we've brought in a technology into our board of directors. We've brought in a technology company just to make sure that they're able to assist us to stay ahead, or to stay at par, rather, because staying ahead with technology is kind of difficult. It's a tall order. But just to stay at par and know exactly what seems to be happening. And AI, I don't think at this present moment is there to replace.
No.
It's
Yeah.
definitely more to enhance. You know, and we need to be okay with it. And the more we're okay with it, and the more we use it. I mean, you speak about
Yes.
planning. There's so many. If you type in and you look for planning, there's all these AI planning programs that you can get.
Right.
So all of that is something that we can incorporate into our businesses to make sure that we, you know, we efficiently support. I mean, get the deadlines,
Yeah.
work on them, and so forth. So AI is there. We should embrace it. And I think the more we embrace it, the easier that it's going to be for our work, for us to be able to make sure that we deliver.
Yep. And delivery is key when it comes to EXSA, right? And all your suppliers.
All our suppliers, delivery is key. The finished product is what the client is paying for.
Yeah.
The finished product is what sells the conference. The finished product is what, you know, the first thing that we see when we get to the product. Imagine coming to a show, it opens up at 8 and here's a supplier still putting up panels and so forth. That's not what we encourage at EXSA. Definitely not. Finished product is key.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of, you know, I think you guys are doing such amazing work. And it's I'm so thrilled to have this conversation with you and, you know, learn, because we all get so busy and we don't realize that we have key associations that can offer us the support as businesses, you know, collaboration between organizers and suppliers and venues. All of those are so important in helping us deliver that final product, like you're saying. So if there are organizers or suppliers or venues that are listening and they want to be part of EXSA and be key in, you know, being able to collaborate with your members and enjoying the benefits that you offer, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, it's pretty simple. We are on social media platforms. We're also on LinkedIn. You can look for YouTube. You can look up for Exhibition and Events Association of Southern Africa, where we also host EXSA Connects on these platforms. They can also get in touch with our office on info@exa.co.za. They can get in contact on our number 011-620-3089. They'll be in touch with Leanne Adler, who, as I mentioned earlier, is the exhibition EXSA office manager. They can definitely come on board. We do have different sectors in terms of membership, from startups to primary to venues. I mean, we've signed up a couple of venues already. CTICC, Durban ICC, all these people have come on board to be part of our association. So
wonderful.
Yeah,
that's absolutely wonderful. And on a parting note, what advice would you give to young professionals entering the exhibition industry or having just started in the exhibition industry? What advice would you give them?
Look, from a personal advice, they need to start somewhere. So whether they're going to be working for a certain company, they need to start somewhere and they need to learn about the industry. It's taken me many, many years. I mean, I own my own company too, but I started off working for somebody, and I've had to learn, and I've had to learn through and through. So from learning about your graphics, learning about floor plans, from design, learning about building up, you need to get your hands a little bit dirty, learn as much as you can from the industry. I don't think you can just get out of school and make sure that and get out of school and then you're running in your own company. You have to learn within the industry. In that way, I think you're going to be much more successful. You will know what's happening. You will know what to do and what not to do. Thus being able to deliver great and exceptional service by getting your hands dirty. Yeah,
because there's always a place for you in this industry. There's
always a place for you in the industry. I mean, there's so many different components of the industry, from your graphics to your design elements.
Don't forget about the finance and customer service.
Finance,
right?
customer service.
Wow.
I made mention at one of the speeches that earlier this year that there's so much in the value chain. from your drivers to shop fitting to finance to, I mean, sales. There's a lot that goes into it. So there's definitely, this is an industry that's, I mean, for me, it was worth going into. I left and I came back into this industry for the love of it. Yeah.
For the love of it. And to suppliers that are out there, new suppliers that have not been exposed to EXSA, what would your message be to them?
Is definitely go onto our site. Look which category you get into. There's so much benefits that you get from it. One of the biggest benefits maybe could be for mostly international clients that you get is that we zero rated on VAT. For your international suppliers, that's one of our biggest selling tools that you can have as a company supplying an international company, an international client. So they must definitely go on our website, see which category they fit into, and in that way they can apply. And we do have specials running until before the end of the year for a 10% discount. Before the prices go up. So
wonderful. Yeah. And for organizers that want to get into an MOU that we talked about earlier, is that open to all organizers?
It's definitely open to all organizers because we want best practices throughout the industry. It's definitely open to all organizers, even venues that can definitely come through and we can have this conversation with them because we want to make sure that the best practice is what is performed for the industry. We don't want this industry ever to fail. It's our brand, and this is South Africa is our brand, and it's a place where we want these international shows to come through. So you can imagine if we keep having shows that are failing, what will the international companies be saying about us?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Sibu, thank you so much for joining us today. It's truly been an engaging and inspiring conversation. And I'm sure that everybody that's listening has learnt a few things that they haven't picked up as yet about EXSA. I'm sure they all know about EXSA, having been around for so long. And we truly admire the support and remarkable work that you have done for the industry. And yeah, it's the impact is profound, and that ripple effect will ensure that we have an ecosystem that helps us to deliver the best products and services. So thank you so much for all your support and for being here with us today.
Thank you very much for the invite, Progeny. As a parting shot, I think there's something that we are doing right. We've had an increase in membership from pre-COVID. So I think there's something that we are doing right as an association. We're going to keep going at it, and we definitely would accommodate more people to come on board so that we can make sure that we keep our industry, at a high level. At a high level, yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Progeny. Thank you.
Yeah. Sibusiso, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing EXSA's remarkable work in supporting and advancing the exhibition industry. It's clear that EXSA's efforts have had a profound impact, and we're really excited to see where the industry goes from here. And for our listeners, if you'd like to learn more about EXSA and how you can become a part of this incredible community, as you've heard already, we'll include all the details in the show notes. And as Spoo has mentioned, you can contact them on EXSA's socials and the website. Thank you for tuning in to the Africa Event Connect podcast. Be sure to subscribe, share, and stay connected with us as we continue to explore the vibrant exhibitions and event space across Africa. Until next time, stay inspired and keep connecting.